Hi guys, welcome to our session with Avanse. We have slides and just a minute. Yes, Priya? हाँ कौन सा नहीं बट न्यू 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 वाला जो आपने टेस्ट किया ना जो न्यू लिंक भेजा था राइट उस पे लिंक पे क्लिक किया तो क्या हुआ उसके बाद आप इनकॉग्निटो मोड में आइए ना एक बार बाई चांस तो क्या होता है प्रीवियसली वो सेव हो जाता है थंब कैची तो एक बार वो क्लियर करके हाँ तो फिर आना चाहिए वही जैसे लिंक जैसे आपने वो लिंक जो कार्तिक ने लिंक भेजा था ना वैसे ही करना मैं अभी एक सेकंड रुको मैं आपको अभी कार्तिक से फोन पे लगाता हूँ रुको Hi guys, I have with us. Sorry, apologize. We are running a bit late. I have with us Priyank Mehta, who is unable to log in due to technical glitches. Just bear with us for like 5 minutes more, and we should be able to start soon. Karthik.
Yes, sir.
Priyank, I'm taking you on conference with Priyank. Please solve his issue on the phone.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, this is a series. Karthik, your number is not reachable.
सर आप मेरे दूसरे नंबर पे कॉल करो ना सर
मैंने तुमको WhatsApp कर दिया. You handle this. So he's saying if there is a glitch and while trying to reach, it doesn't move. There is again the same glitch.
Yes, sir. I'll talk it out.
Okay. Guys, by the time Karthik, who's a technical guy, solves the issues with and brings Priyank Mehta, who's the head of credit at Avanse on board. This session will be primarily towards addressing student queries on Avanse loans. Avanse, in fact, has been since 2013. It's a company which is owned 80% by Warner Pickness and about 20% by the World Bank. And they are very aggressive in the student loan side, primarily relying on the student's profile. And they fund not only US but all other countries. So their loan product is very diverse and covers a lot of countries here. With this in mind, I think it's imperative कि हमारे साथ they are joining us and for you to get insights on the education loan, etc. With this, this session will last for about 45 minutes, and you guys can use the chat function on the right to address any kind of questions and queries which we want to. In terms of Avanse, in terms of edu loans, we have been working with them for the last 3 years, and in fact, numerous cases have gone through. Their turnaround time is maximum 3 to 4 days. They provide pre-visa, a lot of things which we want to discuss on this. Unfortunately, Priyank is facing some glitches from his laptop. So just bear with us for some time and we will, take it through. Karthik, were you able to get Priyank?
यस सर, मैंने सर से बात किया है सर, एक 5 मिनट्स में ज्वाइन हो गए.
ठीक. In the meantime, I will try to address some poll questions, guys, for you all. So just to understand what we are. So let's start with this. Guys, the results are pretty skewed towards one country. Can we have all the people who are all the odd 40 odd people who are attending this webinar, please can they please put in which countries are you planning to study abroad? Okay, and we have Priyank Mehta in the room. Hi Priyank, how are you doing?
So sorry, I'm so sorry.
No problem. You know, क्या होता है जिंदगी में Murphy's Law. We just did the entire check at 4 o'clock. It worked perfectly. Everybody was at 4. Everything happened. And जब हम live गए तो, you know, this is what happened. But nevertheless, so I'll just take you through. I, in fact, have run a poll question while you were not there.
Sure.
And if you see the poll on the left-hand side, so primarily this audience is about 37% US, 12% Australia, New Zealand, and 25% UK and Ireland. So that is the kind of audience we have here. In terms of what another poll before we start off with this session, so for us to understand in terms where we are. Okay. So a good number, Priyank, are the ones who are looking at spring 2021. So they are looking at the immediate requirements, and they are looking, and a good number for one as well. So let me take this opportunity to thank you for coming on the platform, Priyank. Priyank sir is basically the head of credit at Avanse, and he looks after all the products which you have and all the innovative things which Avanse offers in the market, and all the benefits which you draw out of it, guys, is done by Priyank sir. So tell me, Priyank. So first of all, tell me about Avanse. So how is it different from, say, other lenders?
Sure. Thank you for asking the question. So before I actually go into how different are we from other players in the market, let me tell you something about what Avanse is all about. So Avanse as an entity started about 7 years back. We are a NBFC registered with the Reserve Bank of India in India, and we've been doing education loans for the last 7 years. We have funded Indian students going to about 2,500 institutes. The 10,000 courses that you see on your screen, I think the number has just got updated. We are about 11,423 courses now. I'm sorry, the number is a little old number, but the real-time count is 11,423 courses are the number of courses that we have funded Indian students going to in across 50 plus countries. So that's a reach as far as Avanse is concerned. To talk about who owns Avanse, we are held by two marquee investors. 80% of Avanse is held by Warburg Pincus, the sixth largest private equity player in the world, and the balance 20% is held by IFC, International Finance Corporation, which is an offshoot of World Bank. So those are our parents.
It cannot get any marquee than this, right? I think in my kind of limited knowledge or whatever, or the people I interact, I think you cannot have a better set of backers for your company. That I can tell you for sure.
Thank you for those kind words, sir. Fortunate to have them on board with us. So this is what we are. This is what we have been doing for the last 7 years. Talking about how different we would be, from the other players that are operating in the market. So most of the players in the Indian market today, they have a very simple approach. They have a straightforward offering with respect to your education loan. You walk into a government bank, they'll say 7.5 लाख रुपया unsecured हम आपको लोन दे देंगे, कुछ नहीं पूछने वाले आपको, ले लो, चाहिए ले लो वरना छोड़ दो. But no, that's not our approach. That's not the way we function. For us, for all our decision making, for all our processes, and for all our products, the student is at the fulcrum of everything, right? So I would not like to boast, but I think in this last 7 years, I think the company has got a fair understanding of what a student would require. What an Indian parent would also require is also being understood by us, because the requirement of both the audiences are quite different from each other. So keeping this at the back of our mind and consciously working towards, achieving these targets, our approach is very simple. I look at the student, I look at their past academic profiles, I look at their entrance exam scores, I look at the course and college that the student is applying or intending to apply to, and then decide on what offering do I want to give. So it's a very simple approach in the sense that it's a horse for the course method. Some of you who play cricket and understand cricket, if I am touring Australia, I will take 4 fast bowlers and 1 spinner. If I'm playing in India, I will have 2 fast bowlers and 3 spinners. So that's the
मतलब
approach. That's the approach that we like to believe in.
ड्रीम सर ड्रीम 11 लग रहा है आप आपके भी मोबाइल पे है तो ड्रीम 11 is definitely there on your mobile as well.
Sir, unfortunately, I don't understand T20. I'm more of a test match kind of a viewer. But yeah, so that's the approach we believe in, ladies and gentlemen. So somebody going to King's College London, the way I will want to underwrite that student to student who is going to Ontario, say University of Manitoba in Canada, or to a student who is going to Rochester Institute of Technology. The way I will look at the student, the way I look at the application is completely different from each other. I will not have a straightforward approach. So I think that is where the biggest difference between us and most of the players in the market is today. Is our customization and our approach to not only looking at the university but boiling it down to course level. So that's the amount of deep dive that we do into each of our product programs, so on and so forth. Also, to
That's
tell you, we currently have in various combination close to about 90 odd product offerings. So I have a fit. I will have a fit for each of you in my product repository, as I would like to call it.
That's nice. That's nice. So this student-centric approach, what does it lead to, say, in terms of service and in terms of, say, products? So how do students benefit when, say, from a bank or maybe somebody else who just saves 7.5 lakh secured and unsecured and does not understand the student centricity or what the student can actually, look at in terms of education loan?
So I think a very good question, sir. I think with times we have evolved. With times we have, come up with processes that are more student-centric, more keeping student and the parents at the fulcrum of everything. As I already spoke about, my customization goes up to country, course, university level. But beyond that, I can turn around very quick, right? So a lot of us, whether we like it or not, wake up at the last moment. अरे मेरा एडमिशन हो गया, मेरा वीजा आ गया, लोन बाकी है.
वो
So
वो
please come.
इंडियन स्टाइल ऑफ वर्किंग है, ये कॉल इट आईएसटी, इंडियन स्टाइल, इंडियन स्ट्रेचेबल स्टाइल, वो सब लास्ट मिनट ही हम करते हैं सब कुछ.
True. So that's where I think we have a very upper hand or a very unique proposition where I can turn around and I can say that Mr. Singh, I can sanction your loan in 48 hours. Just give me your documents. And in some cases, we have turned around in a matter of 24 hours also. So that is something which is unheard in the Indian market today, in the Indian education loan market today. The process, while of course we have a physical approach to the entire process where my executive, my front end team can come around, speak to you in person, but I think COVID has made us realize that there's a different way of working as well. So my entire process today, as we talk, is completely online, right from my front end team explaining the entire process to you, right from the documentation stage. You can upload all the documents, through internet today. My decision will come to you through the internet. So everything is system driven today. While I would really love that, each of you come to my offices, have a cup of tea. Some of my offices do give really amazing tea. While we would love to do that, but yes, we are completely digital today. We are, we are very much up there with the VUCA world that we are living in. We're absolutely there. So that is something we can be very really agile on that front. A lot of us. Opting in for the online program these days. So yes, please apply for your online programs with us as well. We'll be happy to fund you for your online programs. Uh, while you see a point mentioned which talks about unsecured loans up to 45 lakh rupees, let me tell you only today morning, and I'm sorry I don't have that figure over here. I now have product offering where I can go up to 65, 70 lakh rupees unsecured as well. Of course, for certain set of
Wow.
programs, certain set of institutes, but yes, I can go up to 65 lakh rupees unsecured as well. Uh, so again, this is something which is first in the market. Nobody is offering these kind of programs today in the Indian market. Somebody tells me that I want to go to a Ivy League institute, those 8 set of institutes in the USA, which typically cost upwards of 50, 55, 60 lakh rupees when uh, uh, add up all the different kind of expenses. I do have a product variant for you. You wanting to go to Ireland? Ireland is turning out to be a very popular country amongst Indian students in the last couple of years. I have a product offering which is customized to the top 8, top 9 institutes in Ireland. You tell me I want to go to Canada. Yes, I have a product offering for you. You tell me I want to go to Singapore. I want to go to Spain. I want to go to, I think South Africa is probably one of those countries where I don't have a product program. But you tell me all the major countries where Indian students are going, I have a product available for you. So
That's right.
that's how probably Avanse is different from most of the institutes, most of the lenders that are available in the Indian market.
Yeah, that's definitely an advanced advantage in terms of looking at the overall, student and making student the centerpiece of the education loan. Now, many students and parents over the years come to us and ask them that, should you take an education loan? मतलब they have कि मेरे पास धंधा चल रहा है, मतलब मेरे पास मेरा धंधा है, मैं उससे पैसे निकाल के 15-20 लाख या 40 लाख या whatever they want, मैं अपना निकाल के दे सकता हूँ. Right? And especially Priyank, in Bombay, most of them are Gujarati families, and we come from the business side of things.
Right.
So they are the ones who are talking about, and a lot of people say that. Even Sindhis, for example, even Punjabis, for example, I mean, it could be
Sure.
anything. But the business side of people come in and generally have that kind of notion, or even for the salaried people. So should the students, or when should, or why should a person look to take an education loan?
I think that's a very important question, sir, and it holds a lot of relevance in today's world. You know, I go back to 2005. When I was applying for my master's program, and coming from a Gujarati business family, when I went and asked my father that I've got admit from ABC college, can I like just apply for a loan? The bank is just 2 blocks away from me, and the look that I got from him, my God, I still can't forget those eyes which are staring at me in 2005. But I think the world has changed today in 2020. I personally believe that when somebody goes for their master's education, that should be self-funded. When I say self-funded, you can apply for a loan. That could be one avenue. You can perhaps take it from your parents as a loan. Uh, or you can, if you have enough work experience from your own savings. But I think master's education is something which should be self-funded. Why am I saying what I'm saying is primarily because, I've heard a lot of parents over the last 5, 6 years talking about a very important concept of, student owning up their own financial responsibility. I've had the opportunity to speak to a lot of parents who have done success, who have been very successful in their lives, been there, done that, ample of money to just try to check and get the admission done, pay off the tuition fee of the student. But they talk about a very important concept of making the student realize that earning money is not easy. It's very important for us to be financially uh, independent and also disciplined. Once you take a loan and once you are in the US or UK or Canada or for that matter any part of the world, you will have that one you will party one weekend less because you have to pay for your EMI, right? एक वीकेंड कम दारू पियोगे, एक वीकेंड क्लब नहीं जाओगे क्योंकि आपने वो ईएमआई भरनी है. So I think that is a very important thing. Apart from, I think it's important that you allow your parents to, whatever amount that they have saved over these years, 20, 30 years that they've worked, they've really, really worked hard for, achieving that bank balance for themselves. I think you should allow them to, utilize it for their own retirement, for their own things that they have sacrificed throughout their lives. So I think these are the softer aspects as to why you should be applying for that education loan, or you may look at financing your own education. So I think that's a very important thing as far as benefits of taking an education loan is concerned, and also you have that added benefit of creating your own credit history, which is quite important in these Western countries because everything runs on credit. Uh, I'm sure Bandit sir would agree to me since he's traveled a lot, knows a lot of things. The Western world is all about credit cards. It's all about loans. It's not a cash currency. So it also helps you in creating that credit history for yourself, which goes a long way, for building your life post education in these countries.
I completely agree with that, Priyank. So obviously, for students who are in the last stages, and especially master students with 3 4 years experience in MBA, and it gives you kind of discipline. I think the word most important there is discipline. That okay, I have done it, and why would you want to affect your parents, say a retirement nest, or they maybe the business, maybe they make more money, and the interest rates on these loans are comparatively maybe lesser than what the student or the parent might make in his business. That is one thing which definitely looks at. Okay, and now as people are there, how does a person apply for the Avance loan?
So it's very simple. We have a dedicated relationship manager managing all your inquiries, all your queries. So Hasa is our one point of contact who can be reached at any point of time if you wish to apply for us or get any of your doubts clarified. Plus, you can always apply your loan through our digital platform. Uh, you just need to fill in your details. Either you want us to give you a call back, we give you a call back, or the system also allows you to share the relevant documents and get your loan sanctioned with us. So it's a very simple, multiple option process that we have available at your disposal. Again, we stick to our thinking of horses for the courses method. If you're comfortable doing it online, please do the entire journey online. If you want us to, physically visit you and explain it to you, happy to do that as well. So all possible options available with us.
That's nice because obviously EduLoans is connected and digitally. So we were,
Absolutely.
in fact, Priyank sir, we were the first ones to get API integrated. So once the guy hits on our platform, name, number, email, it straight hits into your platform, and the things start moving absolutely very fast. So it's instantaneous, it is fast, and in terms of response time as well, we are okay. Now coming to the very relevant questions which I have, which are more pertaining to current times, is basically about how has this process changed for COVID. So now people under COVID, first of all, are your say a loan, is your company functional fully? Second, in case there is an online program, what happens? In case there is a deferment, so somebody who has paid a processing fee and he wants to defer it, Then what happens in terms of universities looking at, or maybe the parents right now having lower income. So
Mm-hmm.
it's because all, I mean, like, not all the, I would say majority of the businesses are affected. So
Right.
when they are affected, obviously the parents who are earning there have reduced salaries, and all of us are kind of living it together through the tough times. So how does Avance look at that reduced salaries, and how does it impact? So these are like questions which run through a person's mind and under these COVID or under this pandemic times.
So a very relevant question, as you rightly said, Banat sir. So COVID has actually opened a lot of doors for all of us. It's actually made us realize that a lot of things uh, were possible, or rather are possible, which we did not think of in pre-COVID times. Amongst the first few things that we did post-COVID uh, is that a lot of our customers who have been paying us successfully over the years, we have given them a moratorium, an extension of moratorium as per the RBI guidelines. So
Nice.
we have adhered to the Reserve Bank of India guidelines to the T. We have not faltered anywhere on that front. Uh, what we also did, we realized that a lot of our students were stranded abroad, right? So a lot of them who were staying on university campuses, they were asked to vacate the campuses. A lot of students were facing difficulties in their rented apartments because the cost was very high. They had to move to apartments which were kind of cheaper, away from the main city, away from their colleges. A lot of them were also facing medical difficulties, accessing medical services, and also day-to-day grocery items, so on and so forth. So what we did, we came out with an COVID emergency loan. We extended this loans to all our existing customers, uh, without any processing fee. We did not charge a single rupee of processing fee. So the loan amounts varied from about 60,000 rupees to about 2.5 lakh rupees, which kind of took care of these students during those difficult, especially the months of May, June, which were kind of really rough on students. So we kind of came up with this product, and we disbursed close to about 233 loans on this note, which kind of helped the student fraternity in a long way. Uh, so that only kind of emphasizes what I'm trying to tell you, that we are a hearing organization. You have an issue, please reach out to us. We will try to find out a solution. Some of these students wrote to us, and that's how we realized that that students are in trouble, and that's how the need of the hour made us invent or come up with such a product. Uh, Having said that, the point about parents' income that Banat sir was asking. So, the way I assess my application for the premium institutes, the good institutes, is that I'm not really looking at the parents' current income. We understand that parents come from different walks of life. That should not mean that the student should be compromising on their education dreams. We have had cases where I've got cases from uh, uh, a taxi driver son, daughter, opting in for some of the most premium institutes in the world. And we have not really looked at the current income of the parents. What we are betting on is the future income that the student is going to earn 2 years down the line, or 2.5 years down the line. So that's how we typically assess our application for the good schools, because I am betting on the student. I am pretty confident that a student who is going to pass out from an ISB Hyderabad, or the student who is going to pass out from an Oxford or NYU, is going to get a job eventually, and the quantum of the salaries are good enough to pay my loans. So I'm very flexible. I don't start my EMIs on day one. I'm only offering a simple interest or a partial interest to you, where a minimal amount is paid to Avance for the first 2.5 years. And post that, once you get your job, that's when you actually start repaying my EMIs to me. So we are very flexible on that front. We will we will we will, as I said, horses for the courses method. We will look at each application in its individual merit, and then decide on what are the terms to be laid down for the customer.
Now, just now we had a few questions also, and I guess I can run a poll which kind of signifies the COVID. So I just want to understand from our audience how much are they actually looking at poll. So guys, there is a poll question which has come up about the COVID thing, and I guess Priyank sir has already addressed a good number about it. How they are actually helping out, and Avanse is actually proactively helping out in case you have a online program. They are giving you interest moratoriums. They are giving you, they are slightly tweaking the loan product to increase the value, etc., etc. So, not surprisingly, a lot of people have a COVID issue, and we are, trust me on this, guys. Most of the financial. So I will end the poll here, and I will publish the results. Okay. Can you guys see the poll results? So, so we have about 66% looking at very affected, and about 33% looking at mediumly affected. So, guys, don't worry. All of you guys are here. We are here in terms of helping you out, with it. Now, another thing which I guess, and which is innovative in, I guess, in the industry is that most of the banks or financial institutions look at security or collateral as the prime point of security. Now, we just want to understand from this audience how many of you are looking at secured and how many are looking at unsecured loans. So, if you have the poll on the right, and then we will go into each country-wise unsecured loan which we have to. Oh my God. Okay, the audience, around 40 odd students here which are there, are all looking at unsecured loan. Okay,
I think I
so
should have
Priyank,
got a soft copy of my application form right here. We could have
yeah,
had it right
exactly.
here itself.
Correct. Okay, so Priyank, now I would want you to ask you a few questions. Say, for example, like the UK. Now, what are the UK product offerings for? And UK is becoming quite a popular destination for Indian students because of the recently induced payback option. So,
Right.
what is the kind of loan products which Avance has for a potential applicant of UK?
Well, thank you for asking that question. I think UK, as you rightly said, the new norms make it really very attractive as a study destination. And of course, education was always quality education in the country. So what we have done with UK is we have approached it in a very simple manner. Uh, we are covering the top 100 universities. Ladies and gentlemen, I repeat, we are covering top 100 universities wherein I can offer you unsecured loans both for your STEM programs and for your management programs to the quantum of about 35 to 40 lakh rupees. So depending on the college, some may be 25 lakh rupees, some may be 35, some may be 40, but I can go up to 40 lakh rupees unsecured in a UK market for the top 100 universities. With 100, I'm sure I'm covering almost all the colleges that you people may be intending to apply it into or probably would have got admits into. So beyond these 100 universities, also we have products where, of course, the quantum of unsecured, kind of reduces a bit. But with the top 100, we are having about 40 lakh rupees unsecured for UK market for both
Wow.
business and STEM programs.
Wow, that's very nice to hear. So, guys, if UK you're looking at unsecured, I think Avance is one place to go for. What about countries like Germany? So, do you support? And I think the German process also different, because they require money to show in their savings account. So how do you go about for people aspirants of Germany and Europe in general?
Sure. So with Germany, typically the tuition fee component with the public university is hardly anything, or I can safely say it's definitely zero, but practically not there. So what I'm primarily funding is for the tuition fees and other ancillary expenses. Sorry, living expenses and other ancillary expenses. Again, with living expenses, you need to open a block account in Canada so as to then apply for a visa. So both with Germany and Canada, where you have this block account concept, what we do is we disburse the loan amount to you prior to visa so that you can apply for your block accounts and then smoothly apply for your visa as well. So I do not tell you that only I'll fund you only post your visa comes in. this kind of like the egg and hen syndrome, which came first. So that's the confusion always. So we follow a very simple approach. You tell me that I want this funds for block account. I will disburse it to you before your visa. You apply for your visa, give me the visa copy, and take whatever other expenses for your travel, insurance, anything that you require. Again, in Germany, we have products where we can offer up to 15-20 lakh rupees unsecured, which is kind of covering most of your expenses for Germany.
Okay, and now obviously coming to the question of the US. So how do you look at US students, and does GRE play a factor in the loan determination, and what is STEM versus non-STEM? How do you differentiate all of that?
Sure. So with USA, we are very comfortable as a lender. Uh, I'm not saying we're not comfortable with other countries, but we are very comfortable because majority of our portfolio today is USA, and the portfolio is behaving very good. We've been seeing uh, good behavior on the portfolio for the last 4 or 5 years, and that has made us very aggressive on the US market, especially for the STEM programs and also for the business programs. Uh, as I was mentioning some time back, if you're looking at a Ivy League institute, you're approaching those kind of institutes. I have a product today which can give you up to 65, 70 lakh rupees, no questions asked. I am, yes, I am going to look at your GMAT, but that's not going to be the basis of my decision making. That's only one of the parameters I'm looking at while I'm assessing your application. The fact that Ivy League has given you an admission will hold a very important position for me when I'm underwriting this application. As far as STEM is concerned, I think we are very comfortable funding Indian students going to USA for the STEM program. I am
Correct.
covering. Sorry, saying something.
I said, and in the US, the sanction letter of Avanse is also very well valid for the visa purpose.
Yes, the American consulate does accept my sanction letter. So you can take my sanction letter as liquid money with you, and be rest assured of getting your visa stamped by the American consulate. So we're very gung ho about USA. I don't think we anybody else is offering products to our quantum at this point in time in the market, and the turnaround time for uh, decisioning an USA application is very quick. I can do it in 24 hours. I can do it in 48 hours. It's 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 a plug and play model for me. So very comfortable, very confident on the US side of it.
Okay. In terms of Priyank sir, we have a couple of questions on the floating rate of interest. So, can you highlight how the rate of interest works for an education loan, and does it change or not change over time?
Yes, education loan today in India, be it any player, is on a floating rate of interest, and Avance is no different. So yes, my interest rates would be on floating rate of interest, but it has got nothing to do with Reserve Bank of India lending rates because I borrow money from other lenders. So as and when cost of funds change for me, be it for the better or be it for the worse, the same effect is given out to the customer. So I hope I've kind of answered that question.
So generally there is a range, right? 1 or 2% plus minus, and that range works. So basically, they can any person who can ask you the question is on your cost of funds, what is the excess premium is what is generally used, the premium charge. So then the premium component always remains the same, right? That doesn't
That does not.
change. So in effect, guys, I mean, whatever Avance is making from your typical loan structure, that remains the same. Obviously, the cost fund, if RBI the rate and the other lenders drop it for Avance, you get the benefit. If everybody increases the rate, you also face the same loss. So it goes along. It is in tandem with everything which happens. Okay. What about Australia and New Zealand? I think we didn't cover. We have a handful of students, about 12%, who are Australia and New Zealand centric. So, what about the students who are in Australia? How does their loan process work, and as you know, and what do they have to do to make this legible for the visa, etc.?
So with New Zealand, unfortunately today I do not have an unsecured offering. Not because I do not want to give it, but I think the New Zealand immigration norms suggest that when you apply for an education loan, it needs to be backed up with a collateral. Primarily, that being the reason I do not offer any unsecured loans today in New Zealand. But if the government norms changes tomorrow, I may, consider some other proposition, some other products in New Zealand. As far as Australia is concerned, we are currently offering about 15 lakh rupees without collateral for some colleges in Australia. Uh, I may have some better news coming your way probably in a month's time, month and a half time. I am, as we speak, we are my team and me are working on some proposal to make our current offering a little more aggressive. But as on today, I'm offering about 15 lakh rupees without collateral in Australia.
Nice, nice to hear that. And all of it can be disbursed and shown as the bank balance too for your visa purpose.
That is correct.
Perfect, perfect. We have another question from there, and this is like a kind of honestly, I'm here because I don't want to stress my parents on my further education loan. The education loan is the best option. Correct, my dear. You are perfectly fine. I have an offer letter. Also, have an applied online once online site. Hope I can get a loan on time as I'm starting my education in March 2021. So it's about the time. So how much time would you take to assess an application, and what is the latest date which you can give a reply? As in, what is your maximum length which you can give a reply of a yes, no, or whatever?
So ideally, for all my unsecured loans, we would typically take 2 to 3 working days to turn around. For a loan which is backed up with collateral, it typically takes about 6 to 7 working days because there are certain checks that need to be done. Uh, while we would want that you apply to us at the earliest possible, if you're intending to go into a March 21 intake, right now is a good time to apply with us.
Absolutely. I mean, March 2021 is very well possible, I guess, with Avanse, and things look, you know, are absolutely there. In terms of other things, okay. What are the expenses which will be covered by the loan?
Uh, Thank you for asking that question.
That's a very relevant question.
Yes, very important question. Very important for you to understand that what kind of expenses is your lender covering while giving you an education loan. So at Avance, we believe that tuition fee is just one component of the expense that you would be incurring, and not the only set of expense. So at Avance, what we believe is not only to fund you for your tuition fees, but we look at the holistic approach. We fund you for your living expense. We also fund you for your travel expense, your insurance expense. Your insurance tends to be quite an hefty amount. When you convert the local currency into INR, it tends amounts to be pretty expensive. So, and any other expense that you want to buy a laptop, we can fund you for that as well. So it's a more holistic way of funding you for your education. Also, an important question for you to ask your lender is the margin money. Let me try to explain this in a simple manner. Margin money is nothing but your own contribution towards your expenses. So if your total cost of attending a program is going to be 10 rupees, a lot of lenders in India say that I'll only fund 80% or 85%. But at Avance, we say we will fund you, we'll go all out and fund you the entire 100% cost of education. So be it a 75 lakh rupee loan or a 1 crore rupee loan or a 10 lakh rupee loan, we will go all out and fund the entire cost of attendance.
That's nice. That's nice to hear. So, in terms of, another question which I have is, okay, now there is a question for a UK aspirant. So, in terms of if your mother and father income is low, and I am currently working and my salary is around 60K per month, and I'm looking at a UK unsecured loan, and that kind of clubs a couple of questions as well. So can I go ahead with Avance? So uh, how much of minimum parental threshold do you require for UK education loan? I think that's the question which you want to ask you.
Sure. So typically the ballpark figure would be in the ranges of about monthly income of 22,000 rupees at a family level. So it could be a combination of one single parent. It could be a combination of both the parents' income put together. So that's the ballpark figure that we are looking at. However, we also give you the option of adding, your maternal uncle, your maternal aunt, paternal aunt. If they have a sizable amount of income that you would like to, add on, your siblings for that matter. So we are okay with those kind of combinations as well. So my friend, just go ahead and apply with the nearest. Go ahead and apply with EduLoans for your UK program, and we'll be happy to
Absolutely,
support
yeah.
it.
So now EduLoans is there. They can support you inside out, and that is why these sessions are held with various of our partners to take it forward. Okay, we have uh, sanctioned. Okay, so this is about Corona pandemic. So therefore, displaying now once in a permanent is not under the region. Why? Okay, this is a very specific question, Ajinka. I will suggest that we address it independently. But okay, what happens? So I can put it: is there a regional, issue for Avance in terms of regions, or can you cater to anybody across India? And if now there is a permanent redress is not under their region, how will a student go about looking at an advanced loan? Can he avail it, or what does he have to do?
Sure. Again, a very relevant question. As we speak, we are covering about 140 odd locations in India. I think with 140, we are practically covering majority part of India. But if still you believe that you're going to be the 141st or the 142nd for that matter, for some of my premium institutes, I do not have a geographical boundary today. So if you're from that 141st location where I'm not servicing today, but you're part of my top, you're applying to a university which is part of my, as we call it internally, a platinum offering, then we do not look at the geographies prima facie.
Okay. And what about if it doesn't? Then the geographies would just can ask you in terms of would maybe his uncle or aunt who has a permanent residency in one of the 140 locations, can that be taken as an alternate proof of residence
Yes,
and for them to get the loan?
yes, that can be done. Absolutely.
Perfect. So Ajinka, that will answer your problems on this front. Get somebody who is in the regions of who is 140 locations, and you can take it forward from there, and that would help you out in getting the loan. Okay, guys, any other questions which you would like to have in terms of general? How has where do you see this COVID looking at? So we had, this is a very general question, in terms of the next few intakes, where half the universities are going online or offline. Is your course product different for an online versus an offline program?
Uh, it would be foolish of me to say that uh, there is no difference between the two. Uh, yes, there is a slight difference, but not from a customer perspective. That's my internal process, which we manage it internally. But for you as a customer, there's no difference per se. So
Lovely, lovely.
again, go
Very nice
ahead,
to hear
just
that.
go on to EduLoans website and apply for your loans.
Absolutely, because there are banks who have actually stopped giving us unless you get a visa, and they do not do the disbursals, etc., unless they get the visa. So Avance is ready to take the chance, and obviously, if you don't get the visa, apply again, or else repay back the money. There are two options which are there. So that's where it is. Uh, in terms of okay, now this is another question coming on with UK. So uh, it is mandate. Okay, so I'll address this question differently. I can get the hint of what he's trying to ask you is it mandatory to get a co-signer? Is it or else maybe a handsome salary, or maybe top? Is there any place you can just rely on a student? Is that a possibility?
So the current norms levied down by Reserve Bank of India do not permit any lender in India to waive the co-applicants. So under no circumstance would anybody, giving you an Indian loan shy away from taking a co-applicant. So
Okay.
yes, I would need a co-applicant in any
And
circumstance.
okay, and so, okay, now in terms of this thing, I guess we are quite a few questions are in terms of looking at in terms of options. Good, sir. I think it was a value-adding session of about about 45 minutes, 50 minutes it got, and I guess a lot of questions came in, a lot of students questions answered for those who are attending the session. Guys, this is just the starting point. Reach out to us at EduLoans and we help you get the best loans possible for you. Avanse is obviously our very strong partners, and we can understand the kind of customer centricity they have, the student kind of, the speed of response, the student eccentricity, in terms of the number of products which they have. 90 in number are the largest, which I think in among my lenders in terms. So they're very strong, very confident. And thank you, Priyank sir. In terms of looking at all you guys out there, reach out to us, please, and we will help you get the loans, things better.
Sure. Thank you,
Okay.
Banat sir. Thank you, EduLoans. And students, I'm really sorry to keep you waiting for those 10 odd minutes. I really
No, that's
apologize for
perfectly.
that.
No. That's Murphy's law. It's nothing on purpose. Unfortunately, we're all working remotely, and if at that time the geo or the internet or the computer decides to uh, move out, it decides to move out. You can't help it. You just have to live with it.
True.
Thank you, and all you guys, please out here, those all who are there, reach out to us, and we'll get you the best loan available. Okay, and those who have reached Avanse website, still come to us. We will help you get the loans faster done from Avanse. Okay, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Bye bye.
Bye bye.